drug. They always go back to it, and then you've got the whole problem all over again. It's like a relapse with a drug addiction. You're right back. Everything that we fought to get rid of, that you brought in by doing that, is right back again because you started playing it again. It's very frustrating. I get what you're saying there.
Well, it starts out, you're going there and you're trying to find something out maybe about your dead grandmother or your mom or your sibling or something, right? And
right.
At the start, it starts giving you the answers you want to hear. But then,
they lie.
Yeah,
yes.
And then it slowly starts going in where it starts brainwashing you, Can you imagine, like, here's some young people that don't have much money, right? And they're being brainwashed off their Ouija board. Well, it's all right to go rob somebody or go hit the 7-Eleven, It's really weird. I mean, these people, I don't know. I don't know if a Ouija board actually works or not, or if it's somebody's group of the people, it's their imagination. All I know is I would never allow one in my home again. I guarantee. If somebody came in here, one of my relatives or whatever came to the Ouija board, they'd be the first one back out the door with it.
Look at it like this. It's a lose-lose. There's nothing positive that can come out of that at all. And here's the thing. I've heard both sides of the story, and I know what I've seen firsthand personally in real life. Whatever story or science you want to go with or spiritual, whether it's mind power, the power of the mind is tremendous. So whatever the cause is, it's still a lose-lose, and I'm telling you what, it will lie to you and lull you into. You lower your guard, and then bam, it starts messing with your family, your dog, your job, your life, your finances, you name it, and it's miserable.
Well, not just that. What I saw, to be blunt and honest with the listeners, okay, with my first wife, I saw that with her group of people, like I said, she classified herself as a witch, and everybody else in that group was either witches or warlocks. Okay, right. That scared me. But you know what? I also came home one time from, to the apartment, and they were having group sex. And, I think that the way of their life, is
some of them, that's just part of the norm for some different sects of witchcraft. I got nothing against anybody's religion or whatever they do. It's just when if you force it on me, then we got a problem. Just like I don't force my stuff on nobody. It's like you came home, that's kind of forced on you. It's in your face and you're in your house.
Oh, not just that. I mean, it really destroyed me emotionally for a long time. But it's not that. I blame it on the Ouija board. I believe what it does is it takes away your morals. It takes away, all your beliefs that you grew up with, and it strips you from it. And that's the whole point. It takes your morals away. It takes your beliefs in God away. And it just leaves you, well, kind of strange.
Right. And what is the root and the purpose of any evil? To strip you away of your morals and your values and your compassion and all that. It strips you away of that, and you're just describing it verbatim. Exactly.
Nah, yeah. Well, let's get off the subject because now you know what? I'm going to go to bed after the show, and now I'm going to have nightmares of my first wife. Oh,
sorry about that, Gary. You asked the scariest thing I ever seen. But trust me, I think about that all the time that night. Trust me, it will never leave my mind.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, at least you were able to get away to still have the mind. But,
it took 5 hours to get that out of her. And I tell you, it almost killed all four of us.
Now, do you have your computer going? Because I keep hearing these boing.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I do got my phone here. Hold on a minute. I'll turn that damn thing down. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I kept hearing it, too, and I was like, what? Yeah, now it's down. I'm surprised because it's about 3 feet away from me.
Now, you just got back from a trip, and why don't you tell everybody about your trip, what you were trying to do, and what happened during the trip, and what didn't happen?
Okay. I've never been to Gettysburg, even though I only live like 5 hours away from it. It's only one state away. So, and I've been by there a million times. So I got a chance to go to Gettysburg. A friend of mine, Steve Miller, back in January, February, says, hey, I go there every year. I'd love for you to come with me. And I said, oh, you know what? I've never been there. I'd love to come. So we planned it way back almost a year ago. So come time to go, I think I left, when did I leave? Like the 10th. Yeah, I left the 10th. So I asked my friend Linda K. Bowman, I said, hey, and she's a Reiki master, and she's helped me with a couple investigations. She's absolutely super Reiki master, super investigator. I can say nothing but praise on her behalf. I said, would you like to go? She said, oh, yeah. And so we went, and we got there, and the first house we stayed in, I don't want to say the house, but it's extremely haunted, supposedly. It's listed as one of the top haunted places. But that was the place. I stayed there 2 days, and that place was the place that was real musty and like mold smell, and I think it really affected me. I think it affects a lot of people, more so than the spirits. Now, in that house, I heard a few strange noises. I heard like somebody walking, and there was nobody around walking, but that was it. I didn't really catch nothing, no EVPs. I mean, there was definitely some spirits there. I could feel them. They were there, but they were kind of standoffish. They didn't want to come talk to me or do much. They weren't very active, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
Now, during those 2 days, like during the day, I'd go out and see all the places like Devil's Den and Round Top and the battlefields. And, my God, the spirits, listen, there is so much, it's hard to explain because people with abilities will know what I'm talking about, but the spirits there are so palpable. There's so many of them, residual and intelligent ones. It's just overwhelming. It's just so much. You can feel them. You can see them sometimes, and there was a lot going on. I didn't get very much as far as EVPs, and that's another thing. That's a hit and miss, and plus it was hard because there's so many people out there, and them rocks, it just echoes. Like there was a couple of people that was probably 100 yards away, and I could hear them when I'm doing EVPs. They was on they were 100 yards away. It's just the way it carries out through that granite and them rocks. So then we went to this other place. This place was called Balladary Inn. It's listed as one of the most haunted places. Now that place, they turned it into a hospital. It's in the country, a little bit outside of town during the war, and thousands of soldiers lost their lives in there, and it's all wooden floors. And there's so much blood that comes from the amputations and people bleeding from their injuries. It's in the wood. You can feel, oh my God, it was so like wham, like somebody hitting you in the head with a board. So as you walked into the place, at least for me, it was like, wow. And there's even a big blood stain on the floor of a foot blood print still, 150 years later.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, my friend Steven says, oh, I'm going to touch that, and took a picture because you want to touch that. I said, oh, hell no, I'm not touching that. I'm already getting, like, overwhelmed here. And it was a lot of activity. I could feel just so much. So I thought, well, let me do a live video here at night. So I did one. I posted it, and I went out, started in the rooms, went out. I could just feel them. And I got outside, and I'm walking barefoot. It was about 2 a.m. out toward the woods. In that woods right there, I could just feel, I could see a couple spirits like peeking around trees. There was so many. And you could feel every emotion of doom and sorrow and just all of it. It was just, wow. So I'm going there. I can only take so much. So I turn around, come back in the house. I get almost, 20 feet from the door. And one, I'm just kind of like playing. Somebody kind of sneaks up behind you and pinches you like right in your kidney. One of them pinched me in my kidney, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And it snuck up behind me and actually pinched me in my kidney.
And nobody was there, just that.
No, nobody was there. Believe me, like if you got like one of your grandkids kind of sneak up on you and like pinches you in your kidney. That's what it kind of felt like. Somebody just playing around. It wasn't vicious or anything like that. It was just somebody like messing, just having a good time with me, I think.
Well, James,
yeah,
when that happened to me, where I was working in Tacoma around early 2000s, in the basement where, my employees kept saying it was haunted, and I figured everybody was crazy,
right.
Till it happened to me. But when I went down that basement that time, somebody tapped me on the shoulder where, it was like it hurt type of tap. And I doubled my fist, okay? And I was gonna clobber whoever did it, because the people that was working for me were like ex-military and stuff like that at that camera business. And I turned around, and here's this basement, which is a couple 100 feet long, and and aisles, and there was nobody there, nobody. And I tell you, and then that went kind of crazy after that. But I tell you, people will say that they can't touch you or whatever. I really think they can, because something touched me.
Let me tell you something. Over the 30 years, I've been touched, pinched, I've been scratched, and not by a spirit either. I've been. Listen, yes, they can. Yes, they can. Don't be fooled. And so anyway, I come back in, and the one dining room where you come in before you go up the stairs, there's like an old chandelier that hangs. It's not old. It's old, but not like 100 years old. And it's got it's like a circle wheel with bulbs in it, So I come in, and I know there's a spirit standing in the corner. I can't really see it, but I can feel it. Maybe an old lady, like the mistress of the house. And there was a couple other spirits I could feel, like maybe soldiers that were injured sitting there. I could feel them really strong. And so I came in, I stopped, I waved at them and smiled, and when I did, the lights went totally out. They just went totally black out. And I said, "Oh, okay, how you doing?" "Okay, thanks for that." And they turned the lights came back on, and I just went on through about my business, But and I did that every time I come through. I would wave, and they would go out. But it was pretty freaky. But there was all kinds of activity. I just couldn't really catch nothing on. Now, the one other time we did catch something, me and Linda Kay, at night, I would take a ride down that country road. It's called Hospital Road. It's really in the middle of nowhere, and it's where the troops the Confederates came across the road on a march, on Pickett's Charge, and during the night they came across that road, and to push, and of course they got held back and had to come back, but there was a lot of deaths there. And as we're going down this road, and this happened to us 3 nights in a row, on that one road only, it's what I call, in my experiences, electrical mist. It's for like mist fog, but it's like isolated fog. Like, it's not like fog. It's fog, but it's patchy, and it's shaped like people. And it literally looks like people coming across the road, like I call electric mist. It would come across the road, and Linda goes, "Get out and do some EVPs." So I got out and walked to them. I'm trying to talk to the spirits and get some EVPs. And then I got back in the car, and she's got one of them cameras in the car. It shows behind you. And I happened to look at it, and there was one of them. It was literally not going across the road, but coming toward the back of the car. And I said to her, "Holy cow." I said to her, "Look what's coming at us." That was the worst thing I could have said, because she floored it, man. We was gone. She goes, "Oh, hell no, you don't. You of all people don't calmly say, 'Look what's coming behind us.'" And she took off. But, we went all around everywhere. There was no fog anywhere. There were no crops anywhere around. So there was no crops nearby. And it was 3 nights in a row, the same exact road that I call like electrical mist. It looked like people walking across the road in the shape of mist. I mean, it was crazy looking.
Well, don't forget. That
was the only place. What's that?
James, don't forget, that when they died, they pretty much buried them where they either took them into a pile, or they kind of buried them when they dropped. And so,
let me tell you something that's going to blow your mind. They supposedly dug up all the Confederate soldiers just the last year or two, whenever, and sent them back down to Vicksburg. Now, listen, they had a guy come down, a doctor or whatever, try to identify, this is Confederate. Do you imagine how many unsettled, rested, angry spirits there are? They dug them up after 150 years, and who knows if it's really the right ones and sent them out? That is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. I mean, how would they know they were Confederate or, either?
I guess by the buttons or something. I don't know. But here's the thing. That's just, who does that? You can't. When somebody's at rest, leave them alone. They already died tragically enough.
Well, just think of this, though. All through down the South and in Missouri and all that stuff, they had all those little, battles and skirmishes and all that stuff. And then just think, you buy a house, right? And it's a new house, and you maybe got an acre or two, and you don't realize There could be a couple dozen bodies, on your property, and you're wondering why, when you're watching TV at night,